Let's bring in Fox News contributor Marc Thiessen. Marc, always good to have you with us. You hear this optimism from the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, that there could be a deal. The deal could be imminent. We hear from the Iranian side that they're not really talking to us. They're talking to Oman. What do you make of it?
They're talking to us is just they talk to us and then they deny they're talking to us because they want to save face. Look, here's the way I look at it, Martha. Iran has been waging war on the United States for 47 years under 9 different presidents. Donald Trump is the first president who ever fought back, and he accomplished enormous amount of accomplishments. He entombed their nuclear program. He destroyed 85% of their defense industrial base. He sunk their navy, grounded their air force, decimated their ballistic missiles. These are huge accomplishments. But we have to acknowledge that when we had the ceasefire in April, we stopped at the 20-yard line. We were not done with the military campaign. And there's about 14 days of bombing to go to really finish the job militarily. Now, if it turns out that we're only going to go to the 20-yard line, I'm willing to live with that. It's 80 yards better than any president before him. And it's a huge accomplishment. But we have this opportunity here to irreversibly change the course of the Middle East. That's sitting right here for the president to seize. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it's concerned about the markets, it's concerned about gas prices, concerned about the midterms. The administration is hesitating to seize that opportunity. Maybe it'll come after, maybe they'll take it after the midterms. I don't know. But right now we seem to be in this pattern where we're in this cul-de-sac since April of, we negotiate, then the Iranians violate, then we retaliate, then we negotiate again, and we threaten, and it just seems to be never ending. And so, if that's where we're going to be, if this is the most we can achieve, it's more than any president in my lifetime has done to set back the Iranian nuclear program.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to enter any conversation with that as a basis and understanding that there has been a military action that has been decisive and effective against Iran. But you definitely have the finish the job camp versus the let's get out of there and make sure prices come down camp. How much credence do you put in this idea that it's the Saudis who are saying, please back off? Or are we just, is that sort of in the interest of lower gas prices, that it helps to be able to say that the Saudis and the other Gulf states want us to go back to the table? Or is that the real reason?
Well, it's certainly part of the reason, and the Saudis are definitely telling the administration not to do it. And the answer should be, you've been hiding under our nuclear umbrella for 5 decades. And now you got to line up behind us and let us finish the job. I'm sorry, Saudi Arabia doesn't dictate to the United States. Donald Trump wouldn't sit back and let NATO tell him what to do. Right? So why does he let the Saudis? Why would he do that with the Saudis? So the message to the Saudis is, we're finishing the job, line up, get behind us, and stop chirping, because we've been protecting you for decades, and now you need to back us up.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't it benefit the Saudis as well? I mean, they've been in a lot of battles with the Houthis and Iranian proxies, and really Iran is the outlier in the Gulf region that doesn't seem to want to progress towards a brighter future, a stronger economy for all of these countries.
It's a massive lack of courage. In Saudi Arabia and Qatar and some of these other countries. It's a massive lack of courage. And the problem is that as much as we've accomplished, and I give Donald Trump enormous credit to get this to the 20-yard line, it's not irreversible right now. The only way this becomes irreversible is if we destroyed 85% of their defense industrial base. Well, they can build with 15%. We got to finish 95, 99% of that defense industrial base. And then what we need to do is we need to have a covert action plan to help the Iranian people overthrow the regime, because we did it during the Cold War. We can do it again. If we don't do that, it'll be just a problem that another president will inherit, and they won't have the courage of Donald Trump.
And the Iranian people, President Trump said the hour of freedom is near, and that gave them an enormous amount of encouragement.
Help is on the way.
Very tough. They're in a very tough spot right now. So we'll see where this goes. The president says this is the last chance at the negotiation table. He said that yesterday. So we'll see where it goes. Marc, thank you very much. Always good to see you.
Thank you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.